Hey guys, Sarge here. What we're going to talk about today are a couple things that we can do to make our training experience a little bit easier, right? And what I mean by that, or what are some things that we can bring with us to make the training experience more enjoyable for us as a student, okay? But also so we're not hindering our training experience. So, some of the things would be one, let's look at the clothing that we're wearing whenever we're coming out to training events or even going out to practice, okay? I know we see a lot of people on Instagram and social media wearing sports bras, everything else, right? That is not the best thing to wear to most training events or any training events at all, okay? So dress for the occasion that you're going to be going to. One thing that I recommend, if we're shooting at all, always wear a hat. That's just my personal recommendation with that. Always wear a hat. I have seen individuals that while doing certain shooting drills where we were shooting on the ground, things like that, brass did actually get caught in between their eye pro and their face, and that was not an enjoyable experience for that individual. Whereas if he had a hat on, it would have deflected it and we wouldn't have had an issue. Okay, so wear a hat. Second off, wear a set of eye pro that properly goes past your actual eye, okay, then the orbital bone. That's what I recommend. Have it try to cover that as much as possible. For hearing protection, what I recommend is to use electronic hearing protection, right? Electronic Ear Pro. This is going to be the best thing to save you. What is the most annoying thing with most training courses is when you're done shooting a certain drill and then the instructor starts talking. Well, because you don't have electronic Ear Pro, you have to take that Ear Pro out or off, and what did he say? Well, you're missing valuable parts of the training, and then now the instructor has to repeat himself. Whereas if you just had electronic Ear Pro, you can wear this the entire time during the training course and you never have to take it off. Most of the time I forget that I am wearing it, and even when the course is done, I'll keep it on for a couple minutes because I forget that I'm wearing them. This is Howard Light Impact Sports. I got these off Amazon for about $50. I recommend you guys check those out. And these are Walker Razors. These are about $90. But these are my two picks for electronic Ear Pro, okay? One, they're going to last a very long time. This has been with me for about a year now, and it's still running off the same batteries. So I've had no issues with this, and I use them, I would say, at least 2 full days out of the week, and I have no problems with it, okay? Also something to think about with electronic Ear Pro. A lot of people talk about home defense situations, things of that nature, right? If I were to get into a situation where I need to use a firearm in home defense, some people talk about, well, I would put a silencer on my gun so that way I don't hurt my hearing or anything like that. I would not. I would have my electronic Ear Pro on my home defense weapon system area, right? Whether it's on top of the rifle, on top of a shotgun, whatever it is, however that works for you guys. And I would immediately throw this on, turn it on, and then I would start making as much noise as possible so everyone knows that I am in the middle of a gunfight, okay? More noise, the better, and that's what I go with personally. I wouldn't want that situation to be quiet, but I would want my hearing to be protected. And if you think for a minute that you're going to shoot your firearm, especially a rifle and or shotgun, inside of a house, you have obviously never done that before without wearing ear protection because it sucks. And I don't recommend it, okay? So, electronic ear protection for training, make your experience a billion times easier, I assure you. Something else that a lot of people normally don't figure out until the end of training is they don't realize that their belt is not good enough. And what do I mean by their belt is not good enough? So, there are leather belts and nylon belts primarily that we should be looking at. If you're getting it at Walmart, it is not good enough. We need to look at actual gun belts, belts that are designed to support the weight of the gun and everything else you have in your pockets. So for an everyday item that maybe you could also train in, for leather, I would look at Craft Leather, Galco gun leather, okay, and Bigfoot as well. Bigfoot gun leather, they make good leather holsters there, and Hank's gun belts, okay. Those are all leather leather belt companies that make them specifically for individuals to carry a gun with them. They're also double stitched. Okay, they're a thick leather. And what do I mean by that? If you can grab your belt and press on it, grip it in, right? And if it doesn't bend, it'll support the weight of a gun. But if you grab it and it's real flimsy and it can bend just by barely squeezing on it, that is not going to support the weight of the gun at all. Now, nylon belts. And these are commonly referred to as instructor belts, right? But these nylon tactical belts, or whatever they want to call them, I recommend going with a Cobra buckle. It makes things a billion times easier. This one is from my friends over at Liberty Gun Belts. I've been using this for a year now, and it is my go-to gun belt for sure. So very good, okay? One thing I like about this, I have been using the 511 belt, and the one thing I didn't like about the 511 belt is the area immediately beside the buckle is really thin nylon, and then it gets thicker nylon throughout. Where with this Liberty gun belt, it is the same thickness all the way throughout the belt, and there is no bending of this gun belt at all. It has kept its form through everything I've done through it. So if we're gonna look at nylon, Liberty gun belts or SOE, Special Operations Equipment, those would be my two choices for nylon everyday carry belt. Now, if we want to use a battle belt, where we're using it in the sense of it's going to be a duty belt or what have you, I would recommend going with a sub-second battle belt. On this battle belt, and this is a Velcro lining on the inside, okay, it's why there's this piece right here. I have a Bravo concealment outside the waistband holster for my Glock with Streamlight. I have my Active Carry Technologies IFACT. I have two AR-15 Mission First Tactical magazines, and I have my two Glock 19X mags, okay, and Cobra buckles on here as well. Check out sub-second battle belts, guys. They are the best for if you guys are wanting to get a duty belt and you want the material of that $200, $300 gun belts or duty belts, but you don't want to pay that price because theirs are running at about $100. Okay, so pretty good, guys. Sub-second is also veteran-owned and veteran-founded. So with that, a lot of special operations individuals are running these in teams right now. Okay, so definitely something to look into. When it comes to the range, have a quality range bag, okay, that has multiple pouches and packs. What do I mean by that? In this one pouch, and you guys will get it once you do your first class, but I keep extra eye protection in my range bag, and then I also keep sealed bags with medical equipment. Okay, and this is something I take pretty seriously, right? Because everybody's the range safety, whatever, right? Where everybody can apply a tourniquet. And that's what we should be more focused about. So everybody being able to apply a tourniquet would imply that everyone has to have a tourniquet. So take that upon yourself to really want to do, okay? For me, guys, I keep my ammunition, and I've done a video on this already, inside of an ammo can. And you can go watch that video to figure out why I do ammo can. But all my ammunition is inside of an ammo can. And then my guns, I keep, especially, okay, if I'm going to go shoot pistols, I keep all my pistols inside of this Condition 1 case. Okay, so Condition 1 is a Texas-based company, and here are their cases. And these are pretty cool, guys. So this one here holds 6 pistols and 12 magazines. And so that way, if I'm going to a training course, right, and let's say I plan on running my Glock 45. Well, if my Glock 45 has an issue, I'll keep my Glock 19 in here as well. So that way I can kind of go back to it. But you should have faith in the gun that you're carrying, that it should go through a course without an issue, right? However, issues do arise. So just think about that, guys, okay? Look at what gear we're bringing to the range and think about, is this making my experience easier or is it making it harder? I absolutely understand money does not grow on trees. However, if we only have to buy these items once, that's going to save you time, and it's going to, in the end, save you money. I have wasted so much money on crappy belts from Walmart or other places, right? But crappy belts. I've wasted money on crappy holsters, and it has not helped out at all. So just think about that, guys. Look into some of those things, okay? Speaking of holsters, something that I do want to talk about with you guys real quick is whenever I am going through a course or whatever it is, I will have 2 holsters with me. These are Eclipse holsters inside the waistband. You guys can use code SARGE15 to get 15, or SARGE19, excuse me, SARGE19 to get 15% off. I keep 2 of these. One, so that way if something happens to one, I have another one to fall back to. But more likely than not, I've found people that have brought crap holsters like Uncle Mike's Special 27s, sticky holsters, and all these other crap holsters that are out there. So they end up actually training with an Eclipse holster. They end up loving it, right? So I'll keep a couple extra holsters in my range bag just in case, especially for training courses. Also in my range bag, I keep a notebook and a notebook and pen with me. The reason why I do that, if you guys are taking a training course, you are paying for that training course. So if you guys shoot a certain drill, go and jot that drill down so you can do it later, okay? Also, some of the pistols that I'm reviewing, and those are going to come out here shortly, I am counting how many rounds I have through that individual pistol, right? And when did it have its first malfunction, or how is it reacting after shooting certain kinds of ammunition, and what's the recoil impulse like, and everything else. So I have all that in my notebook. I would recommend getting a notebook and bringing it with you. That way, if an instructor says something at a training course, you're not trusting on your memory to help you remember. Okay, guys? So here are just a couple things that I do. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. You guys can also find me on Instagram at Shooting with the Sarge. As always, guys, stay tuned for more.